Welcome to your daily focus for November the 2nd, 2020. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. Okay, we have a 2 energy today. 2 energy is very much about understanding that there needs to be balance in your life and starting to look at some of the things that bring in the balance. Finances are usually something that we look at under the 2 energy. What has value? We look at our own value, our own productivity, so to speak. But I like to think of the number 2 in many ways of the High Priestess. The High Priestess asks you to sit in quiet contemplation and realize the magic you hold within. Now, if we do the numerology of the day, it adds up to a 17. That's making the impossible possible. So the combination of the numerology alone asks us to dream big. And by doing so, we may, under this full moon energy, see what we need to release in our life and let go of in our life, to complete in our life, because something was holding us back and we didn't even realize it was. Or maybe we thought we were stuck with that part of our life and we couldn't, it's like having that job, and so you feel you can't get any better because you're stuck in that job and it takes up all your time and your energy and your resources just to do that job, that you couldn't even think of maybe going back to school or taking on a different job. And so with the 17 energy, we see how there's a way forward. Using the full moon energy, we may see that avenue more of a way of what we need to deal with now in our lives in order to put some kind of completion or some healing or ending in order to be able to walk that walk, to take those steps. If we go 1 plus 7, it's an 8 energy, and that we attach to our courage, our strength, and it's strong. We can bring it out and utilize it today. So having the courage to look at life in a different way, or a part of your life in a different way, that opens up a window of seeing something different. Getting in some kind of clarity, some kind of understanding of how you can actually have that dream, set that goal, move towards that desire, that passion, in a way you never would have realized before. We have the sun in Scorpio, we have the moon in Gemini, so that is a lighter energy, obviously, our inner child. Our curiosity grows. We want to keep it light. We want to keep it friendly. Now remember, with that full moon energy came a pile of very extreme heavy energy. And part of it was Mercury retrograde squaring Saturn. And we're probably, because Mercury is kind of just hanging there right now, right? So when a planet goes retrograde, it speeds up in the middle, right? It slows down on the ends. It's like, I remember being a little girl on a swing, and my dad built this cool swing, like best one I've ever seen in my entire life, was in my backyard, and it was humongous. Or from my eyesight at least, it was humongous. And I'd swing so high, and it was so strong and solid you could, right? Not like some of those where they'd lift off the ground when you swung too high. This one was solid. And I'd get right up there in the air, and I would just hang for a second, right? Just long enough to notice it. And then whoosh, you'd come down, and then you'd hang looking down at the ground and everything, and then swoosh, you'd come through again. And so that, so right now, Mercury retrograde is preparing to go stationary direct, which means it'll start moving forward again. So I'd say over the next several days at least, if not the week, we're probably going to feel that tension of, that seriousness, that sadness we could feel. Our, we're not communicating properly. We don't have clarity with our words. We can't, arguments can start. Misunderstandings can happen. So be cautious of that, or conscious of that at least. It's more of building within yourself, understanding what you can do, allow your curiosity to take you on a path where you may get that aha moment, that revelation of where you can go, of who you can become, of what you can step into if you dare. Okay, what do we got first? The Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, we call ourselves out on with this card. We want to do better. We want to do greater. We know we can do great things. We see our worth. We see our value. We see our magic. Now, how do we work it? Now, this card always calls for hard work, but the successes are undeniable as well with this card, because we bring out our best. We do our best. We follow our passions. Here we make pentacles. Here we are looking at them and we're admiring them. We're like, wow, we do really great work and we can make it even better. And getting those aha moments and those little epiphanies to say, what if your dream had this included in it? It's about removing a little bit of the glass ceiling that we build for ourselves, so subconsciously most times. This is about applying yourself to a goal, a dream, a desire, of seeing where you can raise your own potential. Look at this, the Tower card. So something, it's almost like you got to take some part of your life and strip her down to the foundations and start to rebuild. Sometimes you have to take it back to the basics. If it's a relationship, well, Tony Robbins says it best. He says that if you treat every day in the relationship like the very first day, there will never be a last day. So maybe if you're having problems within a relationship, taking it right back down to the foundations of why you like this person, why you want them in your life, why you brought them into your life. And forgetting about all those little things, when you first start to date, right? Can you take the garbage out? Oh, of course I'll take the garbage out. Happy to. Anything else? Third month, it's like, take your own garbage out. What do I look like? The janitor? We forget, at first we're trying to impress, and time stands still, right? You can't wait to see them. You're looking at your phone to see if they phoned or if they text you, or you don't want the night to end. You want the day to be gone so you can get there. Everything works. And sometimes we uncover the true issues. Maybe it's a money problem. Maybe it's a personality problem. Maybe there's somebody new in the mix that kind of brought you out of balance. Or maybe it's a job, a new job, or a child, or a grandchild, or maybe the value systems have changed. But whatever it is, it's about taking it back down to the foundation and rebuilding. and treating every day like the first day, perhaps. Tower card, when the Tower card comes in, it never takes away something that you need to go forward. Because the Tower card, this is a general reading, so for most of us, it'll be something small. Maybe we won't even realize it at the time. For some of us, it can be just something out of nowhere that you weren't expecting, that rocked your world. Because the Tower card can rock your world. The 16, it's the 16 card. It's about awakening. So it's seeing what maybe needs to be pulled down, taken apart, ripped away, built anew. And many times it's something that we have been avoiding looking in the eye at. We knew it was there, but we kind of, pushed it to the back burner. We didn't want to give it attention. We were hoping it would settle down, but it didn't. And it makes us deal sometimes with some things that we didn't particularly want to deal with, but we're forced into dealing with it. And once you deal with it, it's done. And you can move forward with a lightness, with an ease. And the Chariot. The Chariot is about pulling back, really thinking it through. The Chariot is about determining exactly where you want to go and knowing it. Now, full moon energy, once again, we're going to be looking at things that are working against us. That is bringing us down, weighing us down. It could be our time. It could be our energy. It could be our resources. Absolutely, our resources today under the 2 energy. So it's about pulling back a little bit on those reins. Spend time in meditation and prayer and contemplation. Ponder over some things. Don't be out there trying to convince others right now. Get it right in your mind, in your heart, in your head. So that when you go forward, you know the steps, you know the words, you know what situations, how you want it to play out. If you just walk up to somebody and just start having the conversation and say, hey, I should mention this to them, and then they take it the wrong way, you didn't take the time to think it through. You didn't pull back on those reins a little bit and thought, this is how I'd like it to turn out. This is what I'd like them to take away from it. So think things through. Ponder over things. Count to 10. And that might even help if we find ourselves in a situation where it's definitely Mercury, Saturn energy coming at you, where they attack, you want to attack, and just pull back a little bit. Is it even going to matter in 5 years? Like, who cares who takes out the garbage as long as it gets out to the curb? I always say when I'm giving up control, I would gladly give up control on having to take the garbage out as my job. So it's not always the bad things that we have to release. It's not always the good things. People think, when you see the Tower card, that something good is going out of your life. That's not necessarily true. Although it may feel like it at the time, it's not necessarily true. And many times we can look back. They say hindsight is 20/20. We look back and we say, if that didn't happen, this deck has a life of its own. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today. And I love here today. Sometimes we don't see it in the experience. That may be the case today. New beginnings. Begin your new life. Look at this. New beginnings. Begin your new life. The 2 energy telling you to tap into the magic that already lays within you, your natural born talents, gifts, the unique you. The 17 energy tells us all about we have the power to make the impossible possible today. So somewhere where you thought you could never step, even though you always desired it, maybe actually a door opening for you today. Clarity coming in, understanding coming in, an aha moment, an epiphany, a revelation. New beginnings. Well, it's short, so I'll read it. New beginnings burst with assertive confidence and excitement, marking your start of a new direction full of adventure. You are in a good position to use your abilities and desires to reach your full potential. You are being guided to act now. Use this creative energy with enthusiasm. You are being driven by a creative force. I am excited and ready for a new beginning. That is the mantra. I am excited and ready for a new beginning. Now, under the full moon energy, chances are we'll be looking at what is holding us back and removing those things, those obstacles, those hurdles, those mountains, those brick walls from our lives so that we can move in the way we want. But now we know we can. And a reading just wouldn't be a reading without our wonderful little animals giving us some guidance as well. And we have, look at this, crystal clear. Yeah, the clarity, the understanding. We get that aha moment. We get that epiphany. I mean, that was, if you go back, I think it was the last lunar eclipse we had. And we get that energy, the last lunar eclipse. We get that for, until the next seasons of eclipses happen. So we'll have this energy until what, mid-November, end of November, early December, somewhere in there. And it was all about the epiphanies. It was all about setting a course of action and expecting the answers to come, the doors to open, the aha moments to happen. And here we are with a beautiful day telling us that we'll get that clarity, that understanding. So don't worry how murky the water has been for you. Have faith, have belief, the clarity is now coming close. So open your eyes, open your ears, pay attention with all your senses. It may come in dreams, it may come through a conversation. Goals, positivity, happiness, hover, and clarity. As you become more clear about who you really are, you'll be better able to decide what is best for you the first time around. Hummingbird tells you it's essential to have crystal clear and concrete goals before taking action. Write down exactly what you want to achieve, your plans, your ultimate goals. You should be clear about your action steps in order to reach your goal. It is then you can see with clarity how you can reach your goal and become motivated in doing so. So it may just be you sitting with a piece of paper and writing out some of your goals. And building the strategy, building the plan. And once you see where your steps actually have to fall, you go, oh, wait a minute. In order for me to walk in that direction, I need to do something about this in the here and now. And understanding and getting the clarity in of exactly where you need to focus on in your life. A positive attitude is a prerequisite if you wish to live a fulfilled life. It's when you believe in yourself, you set a vision, and put wings on your dreams that your life begins to feel purposeful. Hummingbird is filled with magic and love and wants you to know that not everything is supposed to make sense. You'll feel happier, more loved, more motivated if you allow yourself to focus on what is great in your life, what is good in your life, and all around you, rather than, oh, it sounds like a bone. Sounds like a bone coming downstairs. I wonder if that's Dylan telling me it's time for bed. Um, rather than looking at the negative, rather than looking at the bad. Dylan is one of my dogs, by the way. So he's telling me to get up to bed, I think. I came home very late, unfortunately, and I'm sorry. Hummingbirds can do what most birds can't. They hover, so take a lesson from the abilities and just hover over your issues before making any drastic decisions. Find like-minded people and positive people to engage with, and that is a beautiful way to motivate yourself. So, hover. Hover over your dreams, your goals, your wishes, your desires, your passions. Expect the miracle. Expect the aha moment. Expect the epiphany. And go with the flow for whatever happens today, because it is leading you to the place where you need to be in order to walk into your happily ever after. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.